Sumati Nandana Vajavarana Yasomati Nandana Vajavarana Sumati Nandana Vajavarana Gopi Parana Chanda Mahajana Manohara Gopi Parana Gopi Parana Chanda Mahajana Manohara Gopi Parana Kalya Jamana Vidahana Kalya Jamana This is the final verse of the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, text number 43. Chapter 3, Karma Yoga, text number 43. Evam buddhe param buddha.
Evam buddhe param buddha.
Samstab Atmanam Atmana. Samstab Atmanam Atmana. Jahi Satram Mahabaho. Kamarupam Durasatam. Evam Budhe Param Buddha. Samstavatmanam Atmana. Jahi Shatram Mahabaho. Kamarupam Durasatam. Evam Budhe Param Buddha. Samstavatmanam Atmana. Jahi Shatram Mahabaho. Kamarupam Durasadam.
Evam Budhe Param Buddha. Samsabhyamatmanam Atmana. Jahi Satram Mahabaho. Kamarupam Durasadam. Evam Budhe Param Buddha. Samsabhyat Atmanam Atmana. Jahi Satram Mahabaho. Kamarupam Durasadam.
Evam Budhe Param Buddha. Samsabhyatmanam Atmana. Jahi Satram Mahabaho. Kamarupam Durasadam.
Vaishnavis.
Samstabhyatmanam Atmana. Jahi Satram Mahabaho. Kamarupam Durasadam. Evam Budhe Param Buddha. Samstabhyatmanam Atmana. Jahi Satram Mahabaho. Kamarupam Durasadam.
Evam. Thus. Budhe. To intelligence. Param. Superior. Buddha. Knowing. Samstabhya. By studying. Atmanam. The mind. Atmana. By deliberate intelligence. Jahi. Conquer. Shatrum. The enemy. Mahabaho. Almighty armed one. Kamarupam. In the form of lust. Durasadam. Formidable. Translation. Thus knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind and intelligence, almighty armed Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, Krishna consciousness, and thus, by spiritual strength, conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is conclusively directed to Krishna consciousness By knowing oneself as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without considering impersonal voidness the ultimate end. In the material existence of life, one is certainly influenced by propensities for lust and desire for dominating the resources of material nature. Desire for overlording and for sense gratification is the greatest enemy of the conditioned soul. But by the strength of Krishna consciousness, one can control the material senses, the mind, and the intelligence. One may not give up work and prescribed duties all of a sudden, but by gradually developing Krishna consciousness, one can be situated in a transcendental position without being influenced by the material senses and the mind, by steady intelligence directed towards one's pure identity. This is the sum total of this chapter. In the immature stage of material existence, philosophical speculations and artificial attempts to control the senses by the so-called practice of yogic postures can never help a man towards spiritual life. He must be trained in Krishna consciousness by higher intelligence. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 3rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of Karma Yoga, or the discharge of one's prescribed duty in Krishna consciousness. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Radhanatam Vitam Tam Sativam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Nitamsya He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishamanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Veshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In this 3rd chapter, Arjuna had asked his question to Lord Krishna, and this verse which we read tonight is the conclusion of Lord Krishna's answer to the question. Arjuna had asked to Lord Krishna, why are we compelled to sinful activities, even unwilling, as if engaged by force? And Lord Krishna had responded by explaining that this is due to lust. And Srila Prabhupada, in the purport we read tonight, Prabhupada explains what is the meaning of lust. Lust means the desire to overlord something, to claim something as our own, for our own property. Prabhupada also said it's simply the desire for sense gratification, that we want to try to satisfy the senses. But the nature of the senses, of course, is they're never satisfied. And Lord Krishna goes on to explain the nature of that lust. He describes it as the all-devouring sinful enemy. So he's talking about the enemy, right? When you have an enemy, just like, there's so many wars going on. One side considers the other side the enemy. We want to know where are the enemy, where to find the enemy. So Lord Krishna also, in Bhagavad Gita, he explains to us that lust is the enemy, and you will find it situated in the senses, in our mind, and even in our intelligence. But these different things can all be contaminated by the desire to overlord and for sense gratification. So Lord Krishna explains how there's different degrees of lust. It can be a little, it can be greater and greatest according to the attachment, according to the desire which we have for sense gratification. The lust will be more and more intense. So then Lord Krishna goes on to explain how we can overcome that, how we can conquer over the enemy. We have the enemy, how to conquer them. And Lord Krishna explains about spiritual strength. We have to have spiritual strength. You get material strength. Maybe you go to the gym and you lift weights, right? Build up the muscles and get some physical strength. But we want spiritual strength. How do we get spiritual strength for ourselves? Because we have to conquer, we have to fight the enemy. So we get spiritual strength by engaging in devotional activities. Just like coming to the program here at the temple, coming in the morning for the morning program. If you come regularly, you get spiritual strength. You come in the evening also, similar again, you get more spiritual strength. And if we do our sadhana, we do our regulative practice, chanting daily, we get spiritual strength by doing these things. So we have to apply ourselves to the process. We have to practice the process of devotional service regularly. And it gives us spiritual strength so that we can conquer the enemy. And Lord Krishna also speaks about how we have to steady the mind and steady the intelligence. We have to understand, Lord Krishna is explaining that we are transcendental to the senses, and we are transcendental to the mind, and transcendental to intelligence. We are spiritual beings. We are all spirit souls. And the spirit soul is transcendental to the gross body and the subtle body. Subtle body means the mind, intelligence, and ego. So that is the subtle body. Gross body, the senses. Subtle body, the mind, intelligence, and the ego. And we are transcendental to these things. So Lord Krishna had explained like that in the Bhagavad Gita, how the living entity is a spiritual being. In the second chapter, Lord Krishna had been explaining to Arjuna the difference between the body and the soul. That for the soul, there's never birth nor death. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavitava nabhuya ajyo nityam shafatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamani shariri. For the soul, there's never birth nor death, nor having once been does he ever cease to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain, even when the body is slain. So we are transcendental to the material body. We have to come to that consciousness. Our spiritual strength will require that we have actually realized ourselves as a spiritual being, and we will want to work in that consciousness as a spiritual being. How does a spiritual being work? A lot of people don't know, but sometimes you've got people like the Gyanis. They think if you are spiritual beings, you don't work, and they want to stop everything. Their process is just negation. Therefore, they go away from the world. But in Krishna consciousness, we don't do these things. In Krishna consciousness, we have to work in Krishna's service, working for the pleasure of Krishna. This gives us also spiritual strength. We get the strength to conquer over the material energy. What is the sign that we have developed spiritual strength? Well, the sign is that we will be able to say no to Maya. When the material energy confronts us and wants to encourage us in acts of sense gratification, we will reject. We will not be interested, because that is the nature of Krishna consciousness, that we are experiencing a higher pleasure, a pleasure in the service of Krishna. And we can all develop a realization of that pleasure by associating with devotees in Krishna consciousness. We will develop taste for these activities. We develop a taste, just like we get a taste for prasadam. We enjoy to eat prasadam more than to eat mundane food, the food of the material world coming from the fast food stores. That kind of food is not appealing to devotees. Devotees enjoy prasadam, and prasadam means the mercy of Krishna. So we enjoy the mercy of Krishna not only in the form of food, but we enjoy also Krishna's mercy in the activities of devotion, chanting the holy name and dancing. We enjoy kirtan. The devotees have nice kirtan melas sometimes. And nowadays we're hearing how the devotees here are going on Harinam Sankirtan, right? Every Saturday evening, there's a group of devotees who go out and do Harinam Sankirtan for several hours. So that is mercy. You're getting the taste of the holy name of Krishna. And actually that's our duty as devotees, to go out and distribute Krishna consciousness to people. We like to be there in the streets, meeting the people, giving them some consciousness of Krishna. Just by them seeing us, people, if they just see us in our dhotis and with our tilak on and so on, then it reminds people, oh, there's a devotee, oh, Krishna, Hare Krishna, right? That's very good. We want to do that. We want to remind people about their position, that we're all meant to be engaged in the service of Krishna. So we try to let people see us. You know, sometimes some devotees think, oh, I want to hide, I'm going out, I have to change my clothes, take off my devotional dress and put on some ordinary karmic clothes. But no, we want to be in devotee dress and let people see. I was in Hong Kong and I was walking in downtown Hong Kong going to see different people, and I was dressed in my dhoti, and somebody saw me, one lady from the Philippines, she was there in Hong Kong and she saw me and she thought, oh, there's my reminder. Because she saw me as a devotee, and so she was reminded about Krishna. So that is the effect. You see, we like to be devotees. We don't need to hide ourselves. We get spiritual strength to go out and to meet people and to tell them about Krishna. So devotees, that is our duty in the service to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, to distribute Krishna consciousness. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught everyone to chant the holy name and to take up devotional service. It is not restricted to just one class of people or one race of people, but it's open to everyone in every race, every position of life. Young man, old man, women and children, everyone can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness is something which we want to awaken in everyone. It's there in everyone, but they need to be awakened. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, of course, he wrote one song which we sometimes sing about, Jeev Jago, Gora Chanda Bole. He's saying, wake up, sleeping souls. This is the problem. The conditioned life is like being in a deep sleep. We've forgotten Krishna. We've forgotten our spiritual identity. And we need to wake up. So this is the first step in conquering over lust. We want to conquer over this enemy lust. We have to realize we are not the body. We are spiritual beings living in a material body. This is the first step of Krishna consciousness, right? When we come to Krishna consciousness, we learn we're not the body. We're all spiritual beings. And then we have to go on from there, understanding that we're not the body, understanding that we're spiritual beings. We then have to take up Krishna consciousness, practicing Krishna consciousness. And that means regularly hearing and chanting, Shravanam and Kirtan. These two activities are the roots of the creeper of devotion. Of course, there are 9 angas, 9 different angas for devotional service, but the roots, the most basic practice is to hear and chant. We have to hear regularly, and we have to hear about Lord Krishna and Lord Krishna's teachings, like in Bhagavad Gita. We are reading this evening Bhagavad Gita. In the morning we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Purana. But there are many other books also which we read, which all glorify the importance of spiritual life, coming to realize our identity as a spiritual being. The bodily concept of life, people are never happy. They're always morose and miserable, trying to satisfy their senses. We can never find any happiness from this material life. You may say, I'm happy, but we will see how long you are happy for. Very quickly, the problems come. Very quickly, old age comes, disease comes, so many other problems, economic problems, and medical problems, education problems, family problems, one problem after another. There is the nature of the material world. There is a place of problems. Right? We say, Duk alayam ashafata. It's a place of misery. It's not a joyful place. We're trying to find happiness here. And we come up with different inventions to try to make us happy, to help us find some relief from all the miseries of the material world. We have things like mobile phones and computers and so many things to divert our mind, to forget about all the miseries of this material world. But it's still there. The miseries are always going to be there. You can't get away from them. You get rid of one misery, another one will come. Something else will come. It's the nature of the material world. It is full of miseries, problems. And it is true not only on this planet, but from the highest down to the lowest. From the highest planet in the universe means Satyaloka, or the planet of Lord Brahma, and down to the lowest, at the bottom of the universe, the hellish planets, Patala Loka. It's all misery everywhere, because everywhere there is birth and death. So we have to understand our real happiness is not really found here, although we can make some temporary adjustments. Ultimately, there's always going to be troubles here. Our real situation is to become Krishna conscious, to become worthy to get out from this world. And becoming Krishna conscious means we want to just simply hear and chant. We want to be engaged in devotional activity. Of course, people will say, well, I have to work, I have a job, I have my family, I have to do so many things for them. Yes, but you can do them in Krishna consciousness. We have to think of Krishna when we do these different things. Just like Arjuna. Arjuna's going to fight. He's on the battlefield. He's confronting a big enemy. A great battle is supposed to take place. Arjuna is reluctant to take part in the battle. But Lord Krishna is telling him, no, you should do it. Arjuna was worried about sinful reactions. Lord Krishna said, no, you don't get sinful reactions if you do it even in karma yoga. If you fight as karma yoga, there's no reactions. Karma yoga means detached from the results. So we have to learn to detach ourselves from the material affairs, the miseries of life. Certainly, it can be very depressing sometimes. Just like nowadays, if you look at the news, so many wars and problems going on, and the economy is very bad, and cost of living is increasing. Oh, petrol is going up again and again. So many problems. Where is the happiness? Well, actually the happiness is within. We have to look within. We have to look into the self to understand our spiritual nature, ourself, to understand ourself as a particle of the Supreme Lord. The nature of the soul is Sat Chit Ananda. It is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. But the nature of the body is just the opposite. The body is not eternal, it is temporary. The body is not joyful, the body is miserable. And the body is not in knowledge, the body is ignorant. We have to come to the transcendental position. So Lord Krishna is explaining to Arjuna and to all of us how we have to understand. Higher than the senses is the mind. Higher than the mind is intelligence. And higher than intelligence is the soul. And we should know ourselves to be transcendental to the senses, the mind and the intelligence. Then we can be properly situated. Then we can experience real happiness, the happiness of the soul. The happiness of the soul is awakened when we start to engage in devotional service, particularly when we begin to chant the Mahamantra. So when we're suffering and you're feeling very miserable and depressed, we should take shelter of the holy name. We should call out to Krishna by chanting his holy name. This is the solution to all the miseries of the world. I remember 1977, Srila Prabhupada was in his final year in this world. He was not in good health. And he came to Mumbai. At that time it was called Bombay. Anyway, they had arranged a big Pandal program. And the title of the Pandal program was There's Only One Scarcity in the World, Krishna Consciousness. And Prabhupada explained to everyone that actually everything we need is there. It's all here in this world. The only thing we are lacking is Krishna consciousness. And if we come to that transcendental platform, then we will actually experience the relief from all the miseries of material life. Right? We sing about that every morning. We sing, if you come for the Mangal Aarti, we sing the Guru Vastika prayers every morning, and the very first verse describes that the spiritual master is receiving benediction from the ocean of mercy. And just like a rain cloud pours water on a forest fire to extinguish it, so the spiritual master is extinguishing the blazing fire of material existence. So the example is very nice, just like the rain cloud. The rain clouds gather their water from the sea, and then the clouds come over the land. Govinda Prabhu was telling me today there was a heavy rainstorm where he was. I said, there was no rain here, right? But where he was, he said, oh, very heavy rain. Anyway, rain cloud must have come there, heavy rain. The rain, when there's a forest fire, to put out the forest fire, it doesn't do any good to get the fire brigade, you know. They can't get enough water to put out the forest fire because the forest fire spreading, very big fire, very difficult, cannot really put out the fire. But if there's a rain cloud comes and the rain cloud pours water on that fire, then it will put out the fire, the forest fire. So material life is like that. It's like a fire of the fire of material existence. And we're in that fire of material life. And the way to extinguish that fire, we need the mercy. The rain cloud comes and pours the water, it's the mercy. The same way the spiritual teacher comes and he's bringing the mercy and he's pouring the mercy, right? It's the rain cloud gets the water from the sea and pours the water on the land. The same way the spiritual master is bringing the mercy of Krishna and they're delivering the mercy onto the conditioned souls in material life. And they can be relieved from that existence, from that fire of material existence. So this is the very first verse, and very powerful, meaningful verse. Every morning when we sing these prayers, we need to meditate. We come here, right, in the morning and we sing these songs. It's a meditation. It helps us to concentrate our mind and to appreciate the mercy, the mercy of the spiritual teacher, Srila Prabhupada. He's giving us the mercy. He's pouring down that rain of mercy on us, delivering us from the material existence. So this is how we get spiritual strength, by taking part in these kind of activities, by singing these different kinds of songs and knowing the meaning also of what we're singing. It's very important for us to understand the meaning behind these different prayers. So every day we come to temple, take part in these activities, and we learn these different things, and this gives us the spiritual strength which we need to conquer over Maya, to conquer over the miseries of material existence. And by conquering over the miseries of material existence, we will be joyful, we will be blissful, because that is the nature of the soul. Right? We said Satchit Ananda in the Bhagavad Gita in 18th chapter. Lord Krishna also is summarizing his teaching, and he is describing Brahma Buddha Prasanatma. Right? That one who knows Brahman, who knows that he's not the body, that he's Brahman, then he is Prasanatma. He's a joyful soul. And Srila Prabhupada was with one time he had a servant, and he noticed his servant did not look very happy. He had very miserable look, a very long face. And Prabhupada said to him, he said, if you are morose, you cannot be in Krishna consciousness. If you are morose, you're not in Krishna. I mean, if you're morose, you're thinking about sense gratification. You're not thinking about Krishna. You're not thinking about devotional service. You're just simply thinking about our own sense gratification. And so that is the cause of moroseness. And you will never be happy thinking about sense gratification, because senses are never satisfied. Lord Krishna explains the nature of lust. It burns like fire and is never satisfied. And so we have to understand the nature of material existence. We should not allow ourselves to be tricked and to be influenced by that and to fall into the trap of trying to enjoy the material world. Of course, conditioned souls, they're blind. They don't know these things. And they're all working very hard. They're dedicating their life. And the other day they pointed out this one man. He said this one man, oh, he walks 10 kilometers every day. He said his only business is to try to keep healthy. Now, how long can you keep healthy? You know, he was already an elderly man, and he's walking every day 10 kilometers. But does it mean he will not die? Will he not get old? Will he not die one day? It's inevitable. He just die. Radha Krishna Kanaya Ki Jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. Nittai Gaurangaram Ki Jai. So he did not understand the real business in life is to conquer birth and death. Not just to try to keep healthy. You can never just keep yourself healthy, but you want to conquer over birth and death. That is the real business of human life. And if we have conquered over birth and death, then when we give up this body, we will never take birth again. Takvadiham punarjanma naiti mamiti so Arjuna. If we go back to Krishna, we will never come back to this place. So we have to understand the nature of material existence. We have to be convinced. We have to work for ourselves, work to become Krishna conscious, to develop that spiritual strength, to keep ourselves strong, that we can conquer over Maya. All right, are there any questions? Anybody? Any doubts? Any problems? Is everybody in Krishna consciousness? Yes. Or are you morose? We want to see all joyful, happy faces, that you're Krishna conscious. You come here, you don't come here to be morose, you come here to become joyful. For Krishna consciousness, it awakens, you just have to take part in the process. So it's a very scientific process and it works for every living entity. But it depends also on your application and your endeavor. If you make the effort, you have to put the effort into it. We have to follow the process. We have to chant. It's not just only imitation. Sometimes people imitate. They hold the beads, but they don't chant. They hold the beads, you don't hear anything. No, we have to also chant. Just like when we have kirtan, you know, we're meant to respond. Everyone's meant to join in the kirtan. So it's important for us. Of course, we get benefit by hearing, but if you're chanting, you'll get more benefit. So we encourage devotees like that. We want to hear carefully, just like people hear and they forget everything. What was he talking about? Well, I don't know. You know, they sit here and they don't remember anything. It goes in one ear and goes out the other. So we want that when you hear, that it will go to the heart. It will enter into the heart. And if it enters into the heart, then it will clean the heart. Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Ridyantastohi Abhadrani Vidunoti Suritsatam. Lord Krishna, who is the super soul, cleanses the desire for material enjoyment. By hearing Srimatam Punya Shravana Kirtan, just by hearing the topics of Krishna, it's a pious activity. We get the benefit of pious activity, much greater than if you were to do some charity, put the fish back in the sea, or let the birds go free. You can see, we've got some birds in here, I'd like to let them go free. Tell them, go,
But they don't want to go.
They don't want to go, And we try, anyway. Pious activities, they get the benefit is there. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, right? This is a pious activity. Srimatam Swakata Punya Shravana Redi Antastohya Bhadrani Vidunoti Suritsatam. By hearing, it cleanses the desire for material enjoyment. So that is the power of hearing about Krishna, chanting the names of Krishna, coming to see the deities, just coming and seeing the deities. Of course, when we come to temple, we want to come to be seen, not just to see, but to be seen. Right? Lord Krishna, Krishna Kanaya, he's seeing all of us. He can see all of us, he's watching us, he sees everything. So we want Krishna to see us, that we've come here to the temple, we've come to offer our respects to him. This is Krishna consciousness, coming to the temple, seeing the deities, chanting the glories of the deities, taking part in the activities. And the result is, we'll conquer that enemy, that lust which is there. So it's important for us. All right, any question, anyone? Nothing? Okay, so we finish here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki
Jai.
Jai.